Just because my headscarf wasn't properly wrapped, I'd end up with a gun pointed at me by the local patrol. My in-laws quickly stepped in to explain, and it was only after I properly covered my hair that those dangerous men finally left. As a newcomer, I was utterly terrified and didn't know what to do. My husband comforted me, saying I'd adapt soon, but this was only the beginning of my nightmare.
You won't be in any danger. That we'll be back after 2 weeks.
But in truth, my husband's promises were nothing but lies to lure me back. During dinner that night, all the men spoke freely, while I, after merely laughing and talking a little with my daughter and leaving my face uncovered, was met with glaring eyes from my brother-in-law and contempt from my mother-in-law. The cultural clash and differences made me deeply unhappy with life here. I had to rise before dawn for prayer. Not only was what I wore restricted, but even showering was seen as an unclean act after immodest behavior. After struggling through those 2 frightening weeks, as I happily packed to return home, my husband finally showed his true colors.
I don't know how to say this to you. We're not going back, we're staying here.
It turned out he had secretly quit his job in the US and tricked us into coming to Iran. With my background and values, I knew I couldn't survive in such a sexist, feudal, and violent country, and I refused to let my daughter be educated in such a backward place. Desperate to return, I promised my husband I'd help him find a new job back home and that we'd visit his family often. But he slowly lost his patience and rationality and finally decided to strip me of any hope of leaving.
Now you listen to me. You're in my country now. You're my wife. You do as I say, you understand me?
That was the first time I'd ever been hit by the man I loved and lived with. The gentle, caring husband I once knew had become a complete stranger. Tearfully, I ran to his family for help, but every one of them, men and women, young and old, scolded me, called me immoral, and coldly informed me that in Iran it is a husband's right to discipline his wife. Helpless and hopeless, I broke down completely. I gathered all the money I had and tried to hide it, but my husband soon found out and took my passport and all my identification documents. In the days that followed, he cut off all contact with my family by hanging up on their calls, but I didn't give up. One day, at great risk, I managed to call my mother. Hearing about my dangerous situation, she told me that since the US Embassy in Iran was closed, the only place to seek help was the Swiss Embassy, which housed a US interest section. Just as I was desperately memorizing the address, my husband caught me.
Why do you want to humiliate me in front of my family?
That night, while the family was asleep, I took my daughter and ran to the Swiss Embassy. The staff warmly received us at first, but when they learned I was married to an Iranian man, their attitude changed completely, crushing the hope I had just begun to feel.
You marry an Iranian man, you automatically become an Iranian citizen. The laws regarding women are very strict. You cannot travel anywhere without written permission. You have no rights to the children. They go to the man in a divorce.
With no hope left, I had no choice but to return home, praying my escape hadn't been discovered.